Yo, what is up? Welcome back to the Culture and Cannabis Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Full-Time Tony, here with my guy, Jeffrey Coates.
Don't use my government name during the podcast, bro. Jesus.
I'm sorry. It's just, I just like using it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it makes me feel special that I get to call you that and no one else does. But I probably should be more cognizant of saying that on the podcast, just because you probably have like 50 warrants out for your arrest in a couple different states.
I kind of have a checkered past, man. Let's stick to JC, all right? Let's stick to JC. And dude, what's going on, bro? You got the smoke shirt on?
Smoking fire, baby. What's good?
Shout out to Smoke.
I've been up real early. I had to go to Channel 13 to do a TV interview.
Nice. Little restaurant PR.
You know what I'm saying? Just taking some of the stuff we're learning over here at Culture and Cannabis, implementing into the food game.
Nice. That's good.
We have two dope guests on the show today.
We do.
Who do we got?
Well, just quick backstory. So I was on Clubhouse the other day.
Clubhouse. The club.
You know, and you know, I think I was talking about how, like, man, I'm just kind of getting sick of Clubhouse, right?
What?
But you know, I'm not hating, right? Because like, as I was saying that, you know, I was talking to people that I had met on Clubhouse, and then today we have a guest that's actually going to be on the podcast today that I was connected to on the podcast. This is an incredible, amazing, dynamic duo, almost, if I can say that. Entrepreneurs in the cannabis space. Cree Robinson and her co-founder Louie are in the building. What's up, guys? Are you guys out there? Yo, what's up, guys? How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thank you for coming, Cree, Louie. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you guys got going on.
Yeah, and it's funny because I share your sentiments. Sometimes on Clubhouse, you got to take a break. So I totally I get you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm Cree Robinson, one of the duo of Tucana, based out of Detroit, Michigan. And so what we built in Tucana is an operations management platform. So it's a system that dispensaries and cannabis lounges can use to manage their entire operation. So we've been working on the platform for about 2 years now. We're prepping to launch. We're in beta mode now. And we launch in a couple months.
Beautiful. Well, congratulations. I didn't mean to. What were you going to say there, Louie?
It's all good. Yeah, so I'm Louie Macenzi. The partner in Tucana, and yeah, so we're just a cannabis technology company. Like Cree said, we're really excited about releasing here in Michigan, and yeah, just happy to be here with you guys.
Nice, dope. It's so exciting to talk to new entrepreneurs in cannabis, right? And I just love it so much. It just kind of like hypes me up. It's one of this industry just inspires me. We used to do events years ago on a monthly basis, and a lot of a part of that event would be vendors, right? And they were all like hustlers, like, you know, they have their little ancillary cannabis business, right? Or their big, you know, weed business or whatever. And just like you guys, you know, and just like us, we're just out here hustling, trying to come up. You guys are doing some incredible stuff, right? So it's in the tech space. Where does the entrepreneurial stuff come from you guys? Do you have a history of entrepreneurs? Is this the first go for you guys?
Well, you know what? Good question. This is probably our second go, I would say, officially. So what we did about maybe 4 years ago, we wanted to create a training program for the people out in Detroit. So I don't know if you know, but Detroit, you know, went bankrupt almost 20 years ago. And yeah, so we're making a comeback though, and downtown is popping. So we saw all that and we thought, you know what? Since we're already in tech, why not do something, a training program to get more people who don't have those skills in the tech industry. So we tried it out a little bit. It was really hard to scale. So we kind of just abandoned that idea. And once legalization kind of came about in Michigan, 2018, yeah. So we kind of, you know, I came from the legacy market, you know, a long-time consumer, always wanted to own a dispensary. But then when it became legal, I'm like, okay, let's jump into it. Like, let's open a dispensary. But then we looked at the regulations, the money it would take. We just decided, you know what, let's just do something that we can actually just do on our own, which technology, boom. Yeah.
I love that. And I love so much of that. Right. And there's because, you know, with the way that licenses are being handed out or whatever in the different markets with the limited licenses, and how people are getting left out, and the social justice issues and all that stuff. It makes it really hard, right, to kind of get into the industry, to the fact where some people just kind of give up and they think that they can't do it, right? Not the case with you guys, right? And so you're young, you're not I mean, like where does it come from? What would you say to people that would say, you guys are, black, you're a woman, right? These things automatically make it harder for you guys. What would you say for some of your counterparts or some of your colleagues, right? People in the community that want to get in, but they think it's just too hard.
Yeah, good question. And that's what we're all about too. We're all about trying to create opportunities for people, for minorities, for women, for veterans, people that may have more barriers to get into the space. So one of the things that I would say is definitely take advantage of your network and really, really put yourself out there. I think, it can be intimidating to reach out to people blindly. But you have to utilize your network, talk to people. You have to be strategic as well. If you're reaching out to someone who is extremely advanced and extremely well into their business venture, you might want to think about where you are in your level before you reach out to them, because you want to make a good impact, make a good impression on those folks. So you got to be strategic as well. Definitely those two things I think are the most important for folks that are getting started.
And it's possible, right?
Yeah,
100%.
for sure. Like of all industries, like come on, people are like super cool here. Like this is the first time I've ever met you guys. I'm like I can vibe with you. You know what I mean? Because this came from the cannabis culture, which is let's share a joint. Like you don't know someone, you roll up and then you share it with them. Even though if it's a business, it's a more corporate business now. There's still some of that in the industry, and so like it's a lot easier than I'm gonna go to Silicon Valley today and open a startup. You know what I mean? So what I would say to people is leverage your existing skills. You know what I mean? So if you're a chef, don't say, well, I'm gonna open a manufacturing plant if you have no idea. Maybe leverage your existing skills, talk to people in the industry, try to understand the gaps that you can fill with what you have, and then go from there. Kind of like what Cree said, try to figure out how you can help people or how people can help you, and just expand.
Yeah, no, that's a great advice, because it's all transferable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, if you're a chef, right? Like some people like to eat their cannabis too, right? So it's all transferable. And I think that's a great point to, just do what you're already doing, right? There's probably a space for it here in the cannabis industry, and we all have different barriers, and, my barriers are different than Tony's, and you guys are different than ours. And I just think it's incredible, and the message that you guys send across for what you guys are doing. But so like the tech industry, right? And how it's kind of like, if you can kind of sum up what it is and how entrepreneurs kind of like strike in that space, right? It comes from like solutions, right? And, tech entrepreneurs are always, identifying problems in the marketplace and then coming up with a solution to kind of, take away that problem, right, through technology. What are some of the main problems that you guys have seen in the cannabis industry that you guys are trying to solve?
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of different things, and I'm sure Louie will have his as well. Two of the main things that we see right now are data. Folks are very much, and as the market starts to mature, everyone is wanting to understand more about their customers. What do they look like? What do they want? How do we reach them? How do we get them coming back? So that is a big thing that folks are really focused on right now. And then another one, which is also what we're trying to solve, is this concept that everyone is using 16 different tools for one store. You've got your POS, your inventory management, your employee management, your clocking, your software to manage your plants, all of these different tools, and that can be super overwhelming. So we are trying to create something that's an all-in-one and a truly central hub to manage their complete operations. So those are the two of the biggest things that I would say, but Louie, if you had to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. So like to Pre's last point, you guys were old enough to remember back in 2002, I had a CD player, I had a printer at the house, I had all these different devices that I used. I had like an alarm clock. I haven't seen one of those in years. like what happened? We didn't realize that was an issue up until like smartphones came by. Like, yo, why do I have all these things when I can just have one thing that has everything in one, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I used to print out like directions, and like that was so cool. Like, yeah, I got my directions. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing with our technology. We're just kind of like removing those barriers because once you have all your information in one place, it's really easy to make informed decisions. Because what happens typically, what we've learned anyways, is once the state legalizes, a few people have their dispensaries and they have like a monopoly almost. But then, so like everyone just goes to the dispensary and they keep buying and everything is great. But like as soon as you have people that actually know what they're doing, that have a business plan, a good customer model and everything, competition goes up and then you have to be competitive and strategic about the decisions that you make. So by having your data together, that's just one way that you can do that because you know what your customers want, you know when to sell, what to sell to them. Those are the things we're trying to solve. And one last thing is just there's not a lot of standardization in the industry. As you guys know, I'm sure laws are different everywhere, which means people do things differently everywhere. We don't really love it, honestly, but it's just the truth. But so what we're trying to do is standardize as much as possible because even though this is a new industry, people have been selling product in a way that's standardized for years. So what we're trying to do is bring what other industries are doing correctly to this one.
Nice. So like, okay, so, and then this might be a little intimate into, the interworkings of your business, but in terms of, let me see if I can keep my train of thought here. I smoked some weed earlier, so bear with me. So like, some of the challenges, right, to address the different, platforms that dispensaries are using, right? Some have the security, the employee, right? The inventory, and then the regular POS. I think some of those platforms have to go through like a state approved, the platform has to be approved by the state, right? And then some of those platforms, like probably like the security or the employee clock in or whatever, probably isn't, right? And so are you seeing some of those as a challenge as you create some of those solutions for your dispensaries? Like having to say, okay, we have this solution, but now we have to get it approved by the state before we can implement it into our business, something like that. Is that happening for you guys?
100%. That's a really great point because, so if you guys are from, so for instance, we're in Michigan and we use the metric, which is Michigan.
We use metric too. Yeah. So God bless you. Yeah. I feel your pain.
I'm pretty sure every legal market right now uses metric.
I think Tony's right. Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about metric offline. But so we're working with metric, and it's very tricky because on the spectrum of user-friendly platforms, it's not really on the high end. So there are all of these different nuances that we have to be responsible for as a third-party system for cannabis businesses. We have to make sure every single thing is correct. We need to make sure we're sending the right information to metric. We're getting the right information back. So that is definitely the hardest part. And as we've been building, that's actually something that we've waited until the end to work on because metric is constantly changing. They're always sending out updates. And so in order to avoid rework, we waited till the end to do that. But that is definitely the hardest part. We're working with compliance folks just to make sure that we get this 100% right. Because as we all know, compliance is the most important piece of this industry.
Yeah, compliance is one of the weird nuances of our industry that, like for any ancillary business that kind of enters into the cannabis industry, you have to kind of learn about the cannabis regulations, right? And anything from, person who designs a billboard to a person who designs a dispensary solution tech platform, right? You have to kind of learn about the regulations and be wise to them before you can solve those problems. I'm on a roll here, bro. I've been smoking weed all day. Haven't forgotten what I'm talking about once.
Usually roles are reversed here. Usually I'm asking all the questions. You're here looking at me. But listen, I mean, you got it, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
you've been rocking and rolling. You're firing. All your synapses are firing at a high pace, and I appreciate it. Honestly, I'm just really enthralled in this conversation. To be honest with you.
Do you have any questions for that?
You know what? I was checking out your guys' Instagrams, and I did did notice that you guys were recently featured in Entrepreneur Magazine,
which is super dope.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's so fucking sick. What does that process look like, right? Like, using, is it like a using your network to get into something like that? Do they reach out to you? What does that look like? And tell us a little bit more about it.
Did you spend $6,000 a month on a PR firm? Like, how does that work, Cree? Yeah.
Exactly. We dished like 12 grand. No. And that article was actually pre-Clubhouse. So, and I say that because there are and I'm sure you guys know, there's so many connections that have come out of Clubhouse. But that one, we did work with someone who is a PR expert. And we were going to work together just in general for our launch. We have been working together. Awesome guy. Mike Major is his name, from Green Lane Communications. And so we had been working together for a plan for, how to structure PR for our launch. And then he came about and said, hey, he had just been appointed as a writer at Entrepreneur Magazine. And he said, this is a great opportunity. Would love to get you guys featured. And kind of just went from there, honestly.
Nice.
So that was just cool. Yeah.
And how impactful has it been for your guys' business and maybe even for your guys' personal brand?
Yeah, it has been really impactful, honestly, because that's the first thing. I have it linked to my Instagram profile. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, I do.
You do.
Lou does have it. I checked out both your guys' pages. Both of them have the same link. So
Nice.
good on you guys.
Awesome, Louie. Yeah, it's been super impactful because that's typically the first thing that folks look at. And this gives you a stamp of like validation, I guess I could say. So it's been awesome from that perspective.
Cool. So, all right. So it sounds like you guys are kind of bootstrapping a little bit. I'm sure it helps that you had a badass story, right? But some people pay lots of money for those articles.
Tons.
But it sounds like you guys, are kind of like street fighters, right? You're kind of bootstrapping what you guys got. You're taking the knowledge that you've learned from the tech industry and your past experience, and now you're implementing it into a business now, which. By the way, I would think that some of your competitors are highly funded and, could be quite intimidating to go up against, right? So, how do you take that on?
Yeah, the way I like to think about it is our competitors, if they succeed, like Dutchy, for instance, I don't know if you guys are familiar with them.
Of course.
They had a $1 billion valuation, 2 weeks ago, and they raised $200 million or something like that. I'm happy to see that because I'm like, well, that gives us hope, that we can also grow to that level. Because I'm sure I read their origin story, if you may. He didn't start off with all that, you know what I mean? He worked his way up. They worked their way up to where they are. So, and also just to think about it, like, I feel lucky because we're working in cannabis because we're not going against Amazon. I would be so much more like, I'm not Dutchy. They're great. They're big. They're wonderful. But we're not working against Amazon. We're working against folks who are starting up just like us, who are learning along with us. The industry is growing, so we're growing with it. So we feel like this is an industry like the carpeting industry or like the automobile industry. This is something that's so new that I feel pretty comfortable where we're at, and we're just going to take it day by day, and I feel like something good's going to happen. So
nice. That's a really wholesome approach.
I think that's cool.
Tony and I have kind of a chip a little bit. There's no chips over there. You guys,
Well, I got massive. I got boulders on both shoulders, fam.
we have to compete with the big guys all the time, right? And sometimes, like we went to a dispensary the other day here in Las Vegas, and it's just so funny. It's like, well, yeah, we'll buy your weed, but you have to pay us to buy it, right? It's like, it's like these pay to play type situations, right? And we're it's levels to this, right? There's levels to this, right?
And I would also say too, like it's kind of hard to even compare you guys to even like a Dutchy, right? When I was looking at your guys' website, you guys do so much more than a Dutchy, just as an online platform. It's like a menu integration, right?
Delivery.
Yeah, they're not doing POS or clock in, clock out. So I think that's what sets you guys apart.
I do too.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. Yeah.
And so when you guys were building your company, is that like what you guys like had in mind, right? The idea that you guys you wanted to be set apart from the Dutchies, the I Heart Janes, the Weed Maps, so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, so when we first started out, we because my background is in technology and government technology to be specific. So like the building permitting, that kind of software. So we thought, okay, well, since we can't do the dispensary, we're doing technology. Let's do something that the government will need. So then we saw that metric was already in place. We're like, oh man, too bad. So then we're like, okay, well, let's do a full suite of software for all the different types of businesses, from the grow to the processing, all the way down to retail. But then when we actually look at how massive that was going to be and how those are really different types of businesses, we just, you said, you know what, let's just focus on one thing for now and get it right. So we decided to do a POS system. So and we thought that would be enough, but then as we did more research, we found out about other companies that are doing the same thing. Cree came up with the idea of doing something that was bigger than just a POS. I fought her a little bit on that, but I'm happy that we did, because we're trying to carve up our own lane. And there are a lot of POS systems, people that do one or two things, but we're trying to carve up our own lane so we can stand out and have kind of our own niche. And yeah, so that is exactly what we're going for.
And I want to come back to, you had said that, metric was kind of already in place. Do you think that someone could build a platform to, compete with metric? Because fuck metric.
Can you come to the rescue?
Yeah,
Cree
can
Robinson?
Is that possible? Because I would vote for that.
Is it just the straightest fact of like, oh, the government uses metrics, so now nobody else can even compete? Is it a situation like that?
That's my take on it. I work for a government entity. Like it took us almost 2 years just to purchase the software. So those folks, gals and girls, they're not like us. They don't just buy software and trash it. They're pretty attached to what they have. So in order for that to happen, it is possible. And right now is the best time to do it, because you don't want to wait 15, 20 years down the line, because then you're just SOL. It is possible. It's just that you're going to have to be connected with government entities, because the way it works is typically we look at other municipalities and we see what they're doing. And if it works, then we try to copy it. We don't take stuff from just from scratch, or I'm a new company. So, yeah.
We do a little bit of that. We do a little bit of that.
We do a little bit of that stuff. Yeah, if, something's working, why fix it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then here's might be the obvious question. So, like, once you guys get this up and going, and you guys are successful, kind of consolidating solutions for operations in a dispensary, I would have to imagine that those could carry over to a lot of different other businesses.
Yeah.
Right? Have you guys thought about
not just cannabis?
Yeah, not just cannabis. I'm sure you guys have thought about that. Yeah. Or have you guys thought about that?
We get that question a lot. And to be honest with you, yeah, like if the opportunity presents itself, we're definitely not opposed. Our heart is in the cannabis industry right now. However, what we're trying to solve for in the cannabis industry is applicable to other businesses. So, of course, the regulations and the compliance are not as strict, hopefully. So yeah, we're definitely open, and we've been approached by some other folks from other industries. So yeah.
Nice.
Why not, really?
A lot of times tech companies will have these really creative ways of how they, charge their customers, right? Or how they deliver the value. Maybe it's a freemium plan, or maybe it's a flat rate, or, it's a la carte, whatever. How are you guys kind of rolling that out?
Yeah, so good question. So we'll be a monthly subscription model. So folks can do monthly, or was it biannual, right? Twice a year, or annual. And then the pricing will depend on that particular tier. And then right now, or as for our launch, we're doing kind of a promotion to where companies will be able to use the platform for $1 a month for the first 30 days or until we launch. So we're doing that just to kind of, we're a new company, just to get the word out there. And then we're also doing discounted monthly pricing for social equity applicants.
Beautiful.
So that's where we're at now. Yeah.
Nice.
Love that.
Nice. So let's talk about the social equity part. I think you lead with that a lot, and you talk about it in some of the copy of your Instagram posts. So what are you kind of doing in that area?
Yeah, so I probably need to stop talking about that so much. People are like,
no, I don't think so. Yeah. I think it's very important, actually. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure you probably get sick of asked about it, but we got to talk about it, right?
No, yeah, I love talking about it. Clearly, that's why everyone's like, "Oh, that girl." So yeah, we have actually been partnering with a couple of social equity orgs here in Michigan, and Detroit specifically. And one of the things that we're both really passionate about is workforce development and also training from an operations and tech perspective for folks after they get their license. One of the things that I always talk about is, there are a lot of resources in place for folks to get through the application. But then my thing is what happens after they get the license. Like, here's the license, go be free, go be great. And so we've been we've been working with organizations here to do some free trainings and some free workshops with folks. And we love doing that. We just did one.
Yeah. I do love that. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Always play you off, bro.
No, that's great. I mean, it's a different way to think about it, right? A lot of people don't talk about that part of it. I mean, just to be frankly, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people talk about, getting creative and reaching out to their legislators and helping with that policy and how they can kind of help the law reform, right? Where do you think the kind of industry as a whole is in that process? As far as giving back to the people who've been harmed by the war on drugs as a whole, as our cannabis community, how do you think we're doing in that realm?
I think, I don't know. I don't want to sound okay. So this is what I think. Okay. Don't judge me, anybody. This is what I think. I think we're doing really well. I just think, honestly speaking, if this happened in the 80s and then in the 90s, the industry rolled out, I don't think there would be any social equity, anything at all. So comparatively speaking to what it could have been, I feel like we're doing well. We're not doing perfect because we're humans. Anything that's made by a person is not going to be perfect, right? So my thought is, as more and more states come online, those programs are just getting better and better and better. So that's why I like the United States so much. All the states, we just have different laws, and we learn from the previous states. So from the ones that first started in Colorado up until the one that's in New York that just happened, I feel like as we get more and more mature, these are going to get better, and we're going to get to a point where the federal legalization state, when that happens, at that stamp of approval, will be really mature, and the model will be really mature and pretty good. So I think that it's not perfect. However, I feel like it is pretty good because, as you just stated, that's something that comes up a lot in the industry, and it's good. I think it's good.
I think it's a beautiful way to look at it and a point of view because it gives you room to work at it, and sometimes, I get frustrated with the process. We saw it kind of get messed up a little bit in Illinois and,
not a fan,
but, to your point, right, it's a process, right. And we are human and as much as they messed it up, right, it also set an example of what not to do. And hopefully the new markets that open up can look at that and make it better. You know what I mean? And we can get along with the process.
Shout out Oklahoma.
Shout out Oklahoma. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys have been down there, but it's amazing. In Nevada, it's like all of our brothers and sisters got left out, and it's horrible. It is horrible, right? To know friends that I've had from the legacy market, that's where I came from too, right? That is so passionate about the plant, right? And then they feel like they can't contribute, right? But then you go, because of the way that the limited license situation played out in Nevada, but then you go to Oklahoma and it's a completely different story. It's like anybody can do it, and it's crazy, right? But yeah, I think it's a process too, and I think the whole thing that we're doing as a whole in the cannabis industry is a process. The regulations, they're kind of screwed up in some markets, and they're a lot better in others, right? And the people that are passionate problem solvers like yourselves, it gives us room to kind of participate and make it for a better place. Listen, I appreciate you guys coming on the podcast today. It was a great conversation. Why don't you go ahead and plug yourselves and tell everyone where they can find you?
Yeah, I loved this. You guys are hilarious.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can find us on our website at www.toucanna.io. That's toucanna.io. We are on Clubhouse a lot. My Clubhouse, Instagram, and LinkedIn are all the same. They're just my Cree.Robinson. And then we have I think that's it. Yeah, so our LinkedIn, Instagram, and then our website.
Beautiful.
Where can they find you, Lou?
Yeah, you can find me mostly on LinkedIn. I'm not a talker, so I'm not on Clubhouse really. So yeah, find me on LinkedIn. We can chat. Louie Masensi. So that's Louis like Lewis, and Masensi Masensi. Yep.
Dope.
Nice. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys
Appreciate
so much. Really appreciate it.
it. Keep up the good work.
Nice to meet you.
Peace.
Nice, man. I took over the podcast today, bro. I mean,
Who would have thought? Who would have fucking thought JC motherfucking Coates would take over the podcast? This guy consistently yells at me. He's like, well, I would ask more questions if I get a fucking word in. It's like, bitch, speak up. God damn. It's okay.
I'm a wild card, man. You never know what you're
It
going to
was a
get.
great podcast. Good job. I was really happy. Cree and Louie are really awesome people. I'm really happy we got to talk to them today. 2K sounds like an amazing platform. I would love to check it out, honestly.
I do too, man.
I want to check it out. I want to see, you never know. Culture and Cannabis might get a dispensary soon.
It's going to happen, Cree. Send us a free beta version.
Let me get that $1 a month
Let me get that
version,
beta version, Cree. Come on now.
But yeah, man, really cool conversation, cool people. And what's so cool about that was the fact that they're like, well, we can't get a dispensary, but we can switch lanes and go do this. And I feel like so many people are like, hit that wall. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. And it's like, okay, now I'm just gonna go back to doing what the fuck I was doing before. And it's just like, no. It's like, just because you had the wall doesn't mean you can like go around the wall. You can jump over the wall. You can hire a bulldozer and go through that fucking wall.
You can get a full-time Tony, go through the wall.
Full-time Tony will put his head right through that wall. This wall right behind me, I put my head through it many times.
I mean, you have to be nimble. You can't be emotional. You have to be fluid, right? You have to be like the glass of water.
Yeah, so kudos to them.
Yeah, 100%. Major inspiring what they're out there doing, creating solutions.
JC, what we got going on, bro?
But dude, it's your birthday tomorrow, dog.
Well, it's technically on Saturday, but the house that we rented out couldn't do Saturday, so we're gonna have to do Friday, which is not what I really wanted, but it's still going to be a motherfucking banger.
I mean, there's a flyer going out on Instagram when you got like chains and the watches and the smoke's coming out, and it's like you're
shout out 21 Savage for inspiring that flyer.
Are your birthday dreams coming true?
I think so. I'm trying to think, like, at some point I'm gonna want like, Jay-Z at my birthday party, maybe Beyonce. Yeah. They don't have to perform, just want them to be there. But it'd be sick if I, like Travis Scott thing came through and just like did a quick sicko mode set. But other than that, I think, all my dreams are coming true this Friday.
It's going to be incredible. Tomorrow. We got an amazing house. We have a private guest list. If you guys want to come, get in Full-Time Tony's direct message. Dude, be nice, and he might send you a link. You can sign up. It'll be free booze, free weed, free food. It's free, bro. It's your birthday, dog. Let's celebrate.
The big 2-6. Yeah, I know. I went to the dentist today because I lose my insurance tomorrow. So that sucks. Losing the insurance part. Really, though, shout out to Barack Obama who raised it from 22 to 26. That allowed me to be on for so long. Unfortunately, our last president didn't make it to like 30. You know what? I don't understand that. It's just like, listen. If I need fucking insurance, why can't I just go through my parents and tell them like the day I die?
If you still live there,
what's the fuck's the difference? I know I live at their fucking house. So, what's the difference? You want Anthony Lee to have a healthy lifestyle so that he can make money and make tax revenue for the United States of America. I don't understand why they can't just give me my fucking insurance.
Well, I'll pay your dental bill.
Hopefully. Soon Culture and Cannabis will pay for it, but we're working, we're grinding, we're getting it done. But yeah, man, Friday tomorrow, if you want to hit me in the DMs. We legit like maybe have 10 spots left open, so please DM me as soon as possible. Like once we hit that cap, there's literally nothing I can do about it. Like I can't can I get I can't. Like there's literally nothing I can do about it. There's a amount of people that can come to this place, and like once we hit that cap, the cap's hit. We have security at the front door. JC hired them. It's a big, scary person. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but either way, they're going to be scary. But you know what also is going to happen? JC's going to do a set.
I could come out of retirement and play.
He's going to be like this.
Right a DJ set. It's like this. It's like this.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Tell,
sick.
tell Dean to come by. I'll teach him a thing.
Oh, Dean Slopes, if you're out there watching, which he's probably not, come through so you can get taught a lesson or two. He has like a top 20 song right now, I think. So,
Yeah,
but other than that, Dean's doing great. What else are we doing besides my birthday party?
I mean, we're gonna drop.
Are you gonna talk about this fucking?
We're gonna
product
drop the Hustler, dog.
The
We're gonna drop-
motherfucking hustler.
The Hustler.
I wish I had the. Boom, 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 boom.
It's dropping. I mean,
What is it?
it's going to be probably one of the most impactful products that we've ever created thus far.
I think it's gonna be the most impactful products ever made in the Nevada cannabis industry.
100%.
I mean, it's the JC Coates story.
It is a story. There's so much more that goes past it, right? And we're going to put a bunch of positive messaging in it. The branding is incredible. It's the story, right? It's the story of the hustler, right? How the hustle saved my life and how it can save your life too.
If we should really make a rap song called "Hustle Save My Life."
We should.
Is there a
We
song
should.
that already says that?
Probably.
I don't know,
Probably.
but we should definitely do that.
But it's going to be an incredible 24 karat
Woo!
gold
Real hot.
infused pre-roll.
Real fucking hot. It's gonna look just as gold as this right here. I swear to God. No problem. Me and JC had a sample the other day, and it got me fucking lit. And I felt dope as fuck smoking it.
Yeah, I mean, felt like a hustler,
Like a
real one.
and it was at 24K. It just shines in the light. It's real bright. People, we were literally downtown. People were stopping, looking like, "Yo, what are you doing right now? Like, you smoking gold?"
You might want one just so you can smoke it on the gram. You know what I mean?
Just on the gram, honestly. You're gonna do it for the gram.
Do it for the gram.
What else? We got some stuff coming up in Oklahoma.
I mean, we've been working on events.
Events are coming back, people.
We're dealing with these booking agents. It's happening, bro.
June 1st, Las Vegas, Nevada is opening up. Nevada, the state of Nevada, opening up. So you get ready for a Las Vegas event, get ready for a Reno event, get ready for a Tulsa event, get ready for an OKC event. Any other places that we're missing?
I think that's good for now. And very soon after, it's going to be San Diego.
San Diego.
California called today, by the way.
California is calling.
And they called today.
Whoop, whoop.
They said, JC, we want you down here in Southern California.
We need CNC down here, bruh. And you said, all right, cool.
I said, I'll be down there shortly.
Hung up the phone. Yeah, that's great. What else? Is that it?
I think that's it for now, man.
Go check out my fucking Instagram, yo. Like, I'm still on this road to 10,000 followers. And honestly, I made a jump the other day. It was really good. But I still think like 3,500 more. So
Close to 7,000.
close to 7,000. Let's make it happen, people. Other than that, I think we're rocking and rolling.
Let's send it.
That's it. All right, cool. Thank you guys for watching the Culture and Cannabis podcast. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Peace.